Hello guys, the title of this video itself is all about GTs from an average PG aspirant's point of view. So who is the average PG aspirant? See, according to me, none of you are average. All of you have finished your NEET UG, got into the medical college of your choice, finished 4.5 years of MBBS, and now you're on the verge of writing NEET PG. So none of you are average. Okay, but how do you get slotted into this average category? That is because during your MBBS years, your preparation towards your university exams has probably been average. Your NEET PG preparation has probably been average, and now you're on the verge of writing NEET PG, and you find yourself in this average PG aspirant category. I found this interesting quote about being average. It means you're as close to the bottom as you are to the top. So you're in a good position wherein you can just jump or propel yourself in the upward direction and reach the top stage. So if you guys thought GTs was all about scores, let me tell you that is only a very small or minute part of it. GTs are a teaching tool and not a testing tool. Let me repeat, GTs are a teaching tool and not a testing tool. What I mean by this, there are a lot of things which GTs will teach you which will help you in your final exam. Let us look at this now. So what are the advantages of writing GTs, or what is the purpose of a GT? I have classified it into primary purpose and secondary but equally important purposes. One of the purposes primarily is time management. A GT will make you try to finish those 200 questions in 210 minutes. Did you finish that allotted number of questions within that time segment? Yes. Could you achieve this? Could you not do it in the first GT? Were you able to do it in your second GT? And so on. You keep on improving in your subsequent GTs. GTs also teach you discipline, in the sense sitting in one place for full 210 minutes, looking at the computer, trying to answer questions one after the other after the other. When was the last time you actually did this? Just imagine, just remember. So GTs will help you in that direction. And of course, GT will give you knowledge, in the sense GTs are a mix of older questions and a mix of newer questions rather. So there may be a new question in a particular PYT, or there may be something which the faculty has thought it is likely to come in the next exam, what we call as potential MCQs or potential topics. These are also included in GTs. Coming to the secondary purpose, what we call GTs will help you to improve your MCQ solving skills. Really, it will help you. You will learn how to eliminate options. You will learn, when you're stuck with two options, how to eliminate that one and arrive at the correct option. Your silly mistakes will automatically reduce the more number of GTs you give, and you will get the ability to overcome rough patches, what I call, or a rocky road. Suppose you are writing a GT and you come across, say, 6 tough questions one after the other, or 10 difficult questions. Will you say, "अरे यार, ये तो गया इस बार, गया हाथ से, I will not be able to do it," and keep your hand on your head? No. You will learn to overcome that obstacle and then go on to the next questions, which are going to be pretty much easier. So this is something which your GTs only can teach you. And subject to subject jumping, what I mean is, when you're say solving MCQs of a particular subject like ortho or ENT or after you're doing for that particular subject, but what happens in GTs, one question may be from ortho, next question may be from ENT, next question from psychiatry, next question from OBG. So that way you're training, or you're fine-tuning your mind to expect one question after the other, one easy, one difficult, this subject, that subject. So this comes only with GTs. And as you keep giving GTs, confidence build up occurs, and you will develop your own hacks. You have seen many of your seniors or influencers putting up videos called, crack NEET PG with these hacks, or final month hacks, and all these kind of things. Trust me, you will develop your own hacks, and your guessing power and you will improve. So what do we mean by guess? See, if you look at the sky and try to click something, that is a guess according to me. But then if when you're stuck between two options and you actually guess something, it doesn't mean you're actually guessing. There is a good chance that this comes out of something which you had read earlier, maybe during your MBBS days, or you had seen a patient in your ward or something like that. It's what you call as instinct or gut feeling. So you will start to trust your instincts, trust your gut feelings, and of course you'll also know what you have totally guessed without any knowledge. That is something which your GT will teach you. So when do you start giving GTs? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. It means the earlier the better. ASAP, as soon as possible. I just told you the numerous advantages of GTs. Why would you want to wait, no, to give GTs? See, I'm sure there are many people, many of your seniors, many of your YouTubers who will tell you, why do you want to go into battle half prepared? Or why do you want to go without finishing even half your syllabus, without finishing the first read? You will get a very low score. This will demotivate you. No. See, you're not giving GT for the score. That is one of the things, yes, but there are so many other things. So GTs, the earlier you start giving them, see, you may ultimately end up giving only 5 or 6 GTs by the time of your exam. That is okay. But the earlier, the better, because you will learn a lot of things from your GTs. How many GTs to give? It depends, Initially, you may give one per month. Maybe after the first 2 to 3 months, you end up giving at least two per month or once in 15 days. See, there are people who have given only 2 or 3 GTs and finally gone for the exam. There may be a rare person who has never given a GT and gone to the exam. But if you see generally people who are successful, who are in the top ranks category, I'm not talking about the top 1, 2 or 3 ranks, I'm talking about even the first 2 to 3,000 ranks, they would have given a good number of GTs before going to the actual final exam. So how should your GT day be? See, get up at the time as you would do on the day of the exam. Give the exam at the same time as the actual exam. If it is between 9:30 to 12:30, give the exam in the same time frame. And no studying for 30 minutes before the exam. That is not allowed even in your final exam. So give the exam after proper breakfast. No feeling hunger pangs during the exam, thinking of what your next lunch will be. No, and don't wear your pajamas or shorts or house t-shirt or hostel t-shirt and give the exam. Wear the same kind of dress which you would wear in the actual exam and give, because that is also, it is not like you are giving this just for the sake of giving. It should be simulating or just like an actual exam, and that means give the exam only on the computer and with a mouse, not on your tab or anything. And GTs are best given in a new environment, not in your room, maybe your friend's room. If you're staying in a hostel, or if you're at home, just go to another room, sit there and give it. And no distractions for 3.5 hours. Okay, no phones, no notifications, no munching in between, no someone knocking on the door and opening. No, that does not happen. When do you review GTs? According to me, after your GT, just take a break, have your lunch, eat something, maybe relax for a bit, and then start reviewing your GTs on the same day. And if spillover occurs into the next day, half of next day, that is fine. Why is this important? See, on the day when you've written the GT, you know a lot of things, what probably went wrong, which questions you might have guessed, which questions you thought you knew the answer and you took an educated or calculated guess. All these you will remember only on that day. And let me tell you, you will get this by experience. Whenever you make a mistake, the question, the answer kind of gets imprinted in your mind. So the earlier you review the GT, the better. So preferably done on the same day plus next day. So your GT review cannot run into days together. This is one thing which people tell it takes days together to review GTs. That is why I have stopped writing it. Let me tell you how to review GTs and how to review them quickly also. There are four categories of answers after you write a GT. One is those which you got wrong, one is those which you skipped, the other is those where you thought maybe correct or wrong, it turned out correct, you're guessing. And the fourth category is your actual corrects, those where you knew the answer is right and it turned out to be right. So this category, I don't want you to review this category at all, your correct answers, because you knew already this was correct and you know the probably related information also, so don't review these. So out of 200, let us say there were 75 questions which were correct, so you need not review. You only have to review the remaining 125, or if it was 100, you review only the remaining 100. So first you go to those questions which were wrong. Okay, read which is the correct answer and the options below that also. Similarly for the skipped questions and for those which you guessed. So here you should be able to identify which were your educated or calculated guess. Means you thought, okay, that cannot be the answer out of the two, this is the answer. And the other category is if you just guessed, like I said, without looking at the screen, you just guessed and it turned out to be right. That, according to me, is something which needs in-depth review. So the more you try to read and read and read into the answers, the more time it takes. According to me, read that, get the required information, annotate in your notes whatever you are reading, and get on with it. Because once you annotate, you are going to read it some other time once again. One of the common difficulties faced by PG aspirants is the GT scores which are stuck or it is at a plateau. It is not going up at all. That means your preparation is not yet complete. It will be there till almost the final month because you are still preparing. There is some stuff which is remaining which you have to do. But then there is something which you can actually look into. Are you repeating the same mistakes again and again? Are you making more and more silly mistakes? See, silly mistakes in the first one or two GTs is kind of okay, I would say. But the more number of GTs you give, you should reduce the silly mistakes. It is not like you should come and say, oh, I knew this answer, but why did I mark wrong? No, that is not happening at all. Or do you need to study deeper into a particular topic? Is your study very superficial? For example, there's a patient who underwent cataract surgery. After 1 year, he came with a complaint of haziness or vision or cloudy vision. Which of these do you think is the most common cause? So the most common cause here will be what we call as posterior capsule opacification. Yes, your answer is correct. Now they may give you the option saying what is the treatment. One will be say a YAG laser capsulotomy, one will be femtosecond laser capsulotomy, the other one will be say argon laser capsulotomy and the other one will be surgical membranectomy. Now, the answer here is YAG laser capsulotomy. So, if you had actually looked into the topic a little bit more, you would know this answer also. Are you zoning out or kind of giving up during rough patches? I already told you what are rough patches or rocky roads. Like a stretch of bad road, 5 questions or 10 questions which are totally difficult. You don't know head or tail of it. Are you kind of zoning out and saying, yes, I give up over here? No, that should not be happening. You should overcome that patch and still be able to go on. And finally, is there a lack of seriousness? You're just taking this very easy and say, okay, this is not the final exam. I still have time to study. And is that the reason that your GT scores are kind of stuck at the same level? No, that is something which you have to think about. One of the main reasons why many PG aspirants don't end up writing GTs is because of post-GT blues. Let me not call it post-GT depression, but rather we will term it post-GT blues. Means you're feeling sad, you're feeling demotivated, you see that your rank out of 18,000 people, your rank was 16,000, or out of 30,000 people, your rank was 29,000, and you feel, oh my God, I'm putting in so much effort, but this is going nowhere. So that is something which will demotivate you. But then, let me tell you one thing, your NEET, PG or your NECT ranks do not depend on your GT scores at all. Okay. So then why are you worried? I already told you GTs are a teaching tool and not a testing tool. Probably the fourth or fifth time I'm repeating this now. Take all the positive aspects out of your GT. It means each GT you should be deriving benefit. The GT should not be demotivating you. Rather, you should be deriving one benefit from each GT or three benefits from each GT. So that is the way GTs are to be approached. So just because someone else got more than you or your friend who's written the GT with you has got more than you, that should not demotivate you at all. So my take is in the last 15 days, don't give a GT. Now there will be some people who will say, if you're prepared enough, if you're man enough, if you're girl enough, you will be able to give the GT on the previous day and come out of it, without getting scared. Yes, but then I'm talking about an average PG aspirant over here. So is he really motivated enough? Is he really brave enough to give a GT on the previous day or in the previous within the previous week and say, yes, I will not let this bother me? So that is something I will let you to think about. Maybe yes, you can go ahead, but I would say stop about 15 days earlier, concentrate more on your revision. Then GT's course is, as I said, is not something which you should really be bothered about. Not in your first GT, not in your fourth or fifth GT. The only score that you should be bothered about is the score that you get in your NEET PG or NICT final exam, and that is what will help you to guarantee your rank. All the best, guys. Be kind to yourselves and study well.